I'm going crazy today. You know, I had a nice video to throw up, kind of funny, talking about the fistfights and politics here in the country. But we've got this Brussels terrorist attack. It's so horrible. The latest thing I saw, 26 had died, 50 or 60 were injured. It may be more at the airport train station. And today, Brussels is locked down because of the terrorists. So I've been watching all morning our pundits, our press, our politicians, and I've had it up to here with the level of foolishness. It's incredible. Why can't wisdom or common sense ever be a part of our debate? If I hear the phrase recruiting tool one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. But that's the word or the phrase I've heard a million times. Everyone's so concerned, and of course Donald Trump has already been out there. He's the chief recruiting tool of all, of course. But when you say something negative against Muslims, or certainly Muslim immigrants coming into the country, anything like that is a recruiting tool for jihadists. And of course, Barack Obama, who I lovingly refer to as B.O., how many times has he said Guantanamo Bay is a recruiting tool for terrorists? Because it's a prison for terrorists, for goodness sakes. And then, of course, when George Bush was president, oh man, the torture, that was a recruiting tool. He was a recruiting tool. And of course, conservatives like me, we say things now and then against, Islam. So we too are recruiting tools. That's the best we can do today. That's the wisest answers that we have. That's the fears everybody has. Let me just put this thing to waste. Number one, the latest terrorist attacks, the most terrible attacks we're seeing, at least in the Western world, is in France and Belgium today in Brussels. Let me just say, there's no two countries on the planet that have been nicer to Muslims than these two countries. They have welcomed with open arms every Muslim immigrant that wanted to come to their country, welcomed them, nothing to hold them back, allowed them to keep their language, their schools, their food, religion, everything, didn't touch anything. You could not have been nicer. I would love Barack Obama to be asked the question, hey Barack, so what was the recruiting tool in Brussels that caused this attack? Or the one before that? I don't even know how he would answer that, because he'd like to blame Republicans and even George Bush. But I'm sorry, those are just not recruiting tools. By the way, recruiting tools are very clearly spelled out in jihadist literature and in their videos. A big one is our acceptance of the gay lifestyle. And of course, in Europe, gay marriage is that's punishable by death in Sharia law. Abortion is a terrible thing in Sharia law. Do you think the Democrats are going to jump on those two issues to try to help out the terrorist movement here? Of course not. So ridiculous, so foolish. Listen, Brussels and Paris, there's no prison for jihadists. There's no torture that's ever gone on. It's been nothing but the nicest words that could be said about that population. So I don't know the answers. I can't give you 1, 2, 3. Here's what we ought to do against terrorism. I do know this, though. We're over there in Syria bombing, and I know that there's the image that all the terrorists are going to go up on the top of one of those mountains, and we're going to be able to drone them all to death, and the terrorism will be over. Well, that's not going to happen. What is happening is the terrorists are infiltrating countries throughout the world. And if we don't start getting some wisdom, listen, it's really going to be bad. So enough of the recruiting tool, okay?